If you are ever questioning your life choices, this is just across the border from the Netherlands and Germany. On a Saturday morning. Weather is nice, but still it's soaking wet. But I came for this. The Siegfried linie or Westwall. It's another cold day here in the Netherlands. We are in the deep south. We are in Kerkrade and we are in front of the Abbey of Rolduc. Today we're going to do some history here in the area. We are in Kerkrade, as I said, and we are going to walk the border with Germany towards the south. Because right behind me is the town of Herzogenrath. But there's more history than just this old abbey, so let's explore. Well, the construction of the abbey behind me was started in the early 12th century. Completion, of course, took way longer than that. It really kicked off in the late 13th century when coal was found and people know how to use it. The abbey itself was the owner of all the land here in the area, so they were able to exploit that pretty neatly and to build a nice abbey. But that's not really what I came for. I came for something else. A few hundred years later in history, we are walking towards a landmark. It is the border between Germany and Belgium, which was basically settled on just after the fall of Napoleon. Because yes, his influence spread all the way here. This building is the Euro-D Business Center, or Euro-DE, Euro-DE, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. It's smack on the border, as I'll show you. The rolling landscapes of southern Limburg here. This is the first border post, number 232A, because this fence, that over there on the right side is Germany and this is the Netherlands. And from here it will cross right to the heart of the building, roughly there. German post office, Netherlands post office. So the border runs straight through that main entrance door, through the roundabout in the middle of this street, into Kerkrade again. On the right side is the Netherlands and on the left side is Germany. We are now on the Dutch side of the border, on the Nieuwstraat. And on the left side of your screen you can see Germany. And the street is still called Aachener Strasse here. I think they will change at the roundabout in front of us. After the defeat of Napoleon in 1814, this area came in the hands of King Willem I. Within years, a border agreement was reached with Prussia. The little stream Worm and this street would form the new border. This agreement also created neutral Morisnet, but that's for another time. Permission to build this road here was given in the 19th century, the early 19th century, by the monks of the abbey we were earlier. This road was a toll road, as was common back then. Real borders were something of the future though. A first border fence was constructed here during the First World War by German Kaiser Wilhelm II. The Netherlands was neutral in that war, but the border was often used by deserting German soldiers. The fence here would eventually be some 2 meters high. We've now crossed the street and we are officially in Germany. Doesn't feel too different though. So in the very middle of the road is where the current border is at. It has changed over the last hundreds of years a few times. It used to be on this side, like on the pavement. It used to be on that side of the pavement. But after a few wars, they decided that in the middle of the street is okay too. This is to show you that the German name of the street here has changed from Aachener Strasse to Neustrasse, which is the equivalent of Nieuwstraat. There should be a border marker right in the middle, but I can't see it from here. And I don't think I should be walking there. In 1918, the border fence was removed by the French after Germany was defeated in their First World War. They also officially moved the border from the side of the road to the middle of the road. A new fence was constructed in the 1930s by Nazi Germany. During this time, the Gestapo, Geheime Staatspolizei, or Secret State Police, took over control of the borders with clear orders to shoot at smugglers as smuggling was rampant by now. Most smugglers were children though, and smuggling was not stopped. Dutch fuel prices, because we are on the Dutch side of the border. Most signs here are in two languages, a little bit of German, a little bit of Dutch. There's a German church right over there. While we are on the Dutch side of the border, this ad is in German. And the bus stop is in the Netherlands and in Germany, but it's operated by Arriva, which is Dutch. For what I can see is that there is a mix of road signs here, both German and Dutch, found to be on both sides of the border. We are right in the middle of a roundabout. We are on the German side, and how do I know? Well, there is a very little piece of wall that is left. In 1938, a better border fence was built, which stayed up through the Second World War. Shortly after the war came to an end, the border fence was torn down by locals, so they could have their own little Schengen area here, free transport of persons and goods, while goods were the important part. Smuggling had always been rampant here, with or without fence, with or without direct shooting orders for Gestapo border guards. A border fence doesn't stop smuggling, a war doesn't stop it either, so removing them seemed to be a logical step. Unfortunately, Allied forces occupying Germany back then built a new barbed wire fence here again in 1949, mainly to counter smuggling again. That effort was of course in vain. Smuggling was done by children playing ball across the border, where the smuggled goods were hidden inside those balls. In the 1950s, smuggling tunnels were discovered as well. In 1957, both the Netherlands and Germany joined the newly formed EEC, European Economic Community, but the border fence was not removed, only lowered. Only in 1968 the fence was torn down and replaced by a concrete divider, which eventually was demolished in 1993, except for this part at the roundabout here. We came from that direction, the north. That's the supermarket that's closed on Sundays because it's in Germany. That's a German bus. This roundabout. Let's go back to Germany again. This roundabout is the actual border. There is a border sign in the middle. And this building right here used to be a customs checkpoint. I carefully crossed the roundabout here. Not sure if that's legal in the Netherlands or Germany though. This border marker is 229B, while the one we saw earlier was 232B. These are both additional markers, but the ones in between have all been removed as they are supposed to be in the middle of the road. There seems to be more trust in each other respecting a border when there is no physical border than there has ever been before, I suppose, which could plead for not having borders anywhere. But unfortunately, on the other side of Europe, real borders are being constructed as we speak. Remnants of such monstrous borders dating back to Nazi Germany are nearby though, so let's head over. I'm at the location of the former checkpoint between Netherlands and Germany right here. The building behind me is the actual border post. And this road is closed for all traffic except for pedestrians. I don't think that's ironically, but it could very well be. And this right here is another border post. As far as I know, this has been moved, as it used to be in the middle of the road here as well. That border checkpoint was the last bit of road that was split into two countries. We are now fully in Germany. And we are still walking south because there is a little bit more history, even more recent than this split road and the Abbey, as there are defenses of the so-called Siegfried line here. The Siegfried line, or Westwall in English, used to be a defensive line built by Nazi Germany in the 1930s and 1940s. Many locations have disappeared over the years as bunkers across the borders were blown up after the war, and the anti-tank defense itself was also broken up, partially by farmers though. But right over here are those dragon teeth that are still remaining, and it runs all the way there. Major works along the entire Westwall were done between 1936 and 1940, but were not limited to just those few years. The entire line would eventually stretch from the German city of Kleve in the north and the German border with neutral Switzerland in the south, over 600 kilometers. Of the thousands of bunkers built along this line, only a few remain as Germany was quick to erase that part of history once the Nazi regime was removed. These dragon teeth defenses though are much more common and are still scattered around in the landscape. Some of them are hidden in between bushes and greenery, but quite a few are in open fields, like the ones you're looking at now. Yeah, it's these moments that I question the choices I make on a Saturday morning. Here it is. The Westwall. We need to go all the way there, because this is extremely soggy farmland. And I'm not going to take the risk that I am losing a shoe or two here. It's 5 deep, and the biggest one is right over there, just outside of the shot. This is one of the remaining parts of the defense that Nazi Germany built here in the 1930s and 40s to prevent an invasion from the west. Well, we all know how that worked out, but the remainers are still here, and they're going strong even after 80 or 85 years. War is something not to joke about though, especially if you keep in mind that this line of defense was a strong one, although not as strong as it could be, fortunately. Just a few dozen kilometers south of us here, in the Ardennen forest area, the Allies suffered huge losses during the last major offensive Nazi Germany would start during the Second World War. We all know it by name, the Ardennes Offensive or the Battle of the Bulge, which started in mid-December 1944 as a last-ditch effort to stop the Allied advances before they could enter Germany proper. That single event in history killed some 160,000 soldiers, of which some 78,000 were American and British. Hitler's last attempt to regain control over the course of war failed completely, and just a few months later, Western Europe would be free again. This is it for me now, here from the Siegfried line, just across the border with the Netherlands here in Germany. If you like this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, because there will be more of these in the future. Thank you for watching, and see you soon. And we are, there's a car coming. That's the car. That's Scout. We have crossed the street. We are now we've crossed the street. We. Yeah, my shoes will be dirty for the rest of the day. We'll be out on my video soon. Video channel. I have to be careful for the cow dung.